Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Satan and Coffee. I hope you're all doing really, really well. I do apologize for the late start. We're about an hour late, but we are here. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. And it is this Friday edition of Satan and Coffee. Because, you know, I guess they got TGIF. We could do TSIF. TSIF. Thanks, Satan. It's Friday. Yeah. So, I was debating because I woke up late. Just, truth of the matter. I woke up late. And then I was kind of wondering, all right, should I do this or shouldn't I do this? It's like, no, I don't. I really do want to do this. It's just, Dyra and I kind of went to sleep a little bit late last night because we were finishing up the first season of Wednesday because the second season dropped on Wednesday. So, yeah, really wanting to start getting into the second season. And also, you lucky little buggers in the States, Wendy's turning itself into Wednesdays. I really do hope, like, if you are US based, I don't know if they're doing it in Canada, but I know they're definitely not doing it in Mexico. But if you're in the States, do please take full advantage of Wendy's being Wednesdays. And somebody, please, I will pay you money. Little extras that they could get, a little packet of extras that they give you at those little drive-through things. I will pay you to send me something from that. Because unfortunately, I'm not able to partake in the Wednesday festivities that were taking place prior to the release of the second season. So, yeah, if anyone has done that, if anyone can still do that, drop me a message because I am interested. I'm very, very interested. So, as said before, we're on part 2 of Cut the Shit. Okay. Because there's a couple of segments that I still wanted to go through from Wednesday's show. And there's a bit of an expandability on it because we're focusing on accountability, right? It's the whole purpose of the show being called Cut the Shit is cut the shit, man. Be accountable for your own actions. Be accountable for your life. We dove in, previously in the week. Yeah, Samael, welcome. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. All right. So, what we're going to be getting into is accountability as the gate to power, right? We talked about I think it was last week, we talked about like doing ritual and doing magic without calling on a demon or an entity, using your own personal power, to perform ritual. And one thing that, I'm remembering as of late is how wonderful that feels, to use your own focused energy, in a ritual. Feels, it's so liberating. It feels absolutely amazing. There's just, I don't know. And I don't know how to describe it. You just have to experience it. And for me, that's the empowering part, right? Not working with Lucifer or Samael or Lilith or Baphomet. I mean, those are truly there's an empowering aspect to those. But for me, it's not the most empowering part of ritual. The most empowering part of ritual for me is working with my own energy and understanding I have this power inside of me. I have this energy and this ability to do these things inside of me, right? That's the most liberating part of it. Okay, so big part here. Pink fucking dinosaur. Eventually this will become like the mascot of the show. Um, if you're not willing to look in the mirror and say, I did this, both the good and the bad, then you will never rule anything. Okay? So, first and foremost, if we talk about Lucifer, Lucifer is a harsh mirror, as is Belial. Lucifer doesn't punish, he reveals, he opens up pathways, right? That's why so many fear working in Lucifer's light, because they're afraid to look at themselves. They're afraid to kind of open up that door and look at themselves. Okay? He will show you the habits that are killing you. Like if you ask, Lucifer will show you what is breaking you down. Belial and the earthly kingdom, Belial demands structure. If your life is chaos, your magic is noise. Where's your throne, your temple, your structure? Where is your direction, right? If you live a life of chaos, like, I mean, some people might try to be an edgelord with this and be like, oh, well, chaos is chaos magic. It's like, f off. Is that a blue goat? It's definitely not a unicorn because I can see that there's two horns on that thing. Is that like a strangely like bright aquamarine goat? Is that what that is? I don't know. I'm almost 40 years old. Like, you know, my vision's not what it used to be. But that's a good one too. Not as creepy as the freak. How's it going? How's it going? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Right? Now, break the curse of your own inertia. Right? Your own inertia, your own movement forward. Or how you're moving forward, how you're moving in your life. Right? So, most curses that we face are curses that we put on ourselves for lack of belief, lack of development, lack of trying at the very base of things, right? It's not your upbringing, your trauma, your ex, your parents, or capitalism. It's your choices every single day. And this is the thing that people don't want to pay attention to, is their choices. It goes back to that whole thing that I keep saying. If I keep repeating this, and I will keep repeating it until somebody fucking listens. It's not enough to want change. You need to want to change, because there is truth to the saying of be the change that you want to see. If you're not changing your lifestyle, your direction, the things that you're doing, you're not doing anything to improve your life. You're staying stationary, right? If you're not making movements that are going to improve your life is not going to improve. I'm moving my coffee closer to me if you're wondering what I'm doing. Hail Satan. Satan and coffee. And, of course, my coffee coaster. If I've ever shown this to you guys, I'm never going to be able to see it. There it is. Summon the spirits. And around it says vodka, whiskey, brandy, absinthe, and tequila. Summon the spirits. Little occult humor there, I suppose. So I've actually built out an entire section for this next one, right? But base here, ritual without discipline or action is masturbation. Okay? chanting without execution, journaling without action, planning without building. You're wasting your own time. Like you just are. Like you're masturbating your ego. I'm a whiskey man, but gin. I've only ever had gin once in my life. I remember the house that I was in. I don't know whose house it was, but I remember the house that I was in, and there was a giant, like, gallon bottle of gin in the middle of the table. And they gave me a shot of it, and I was expecting it to be like vodka, and oh my goodness, it almost killed me. I never knew something wet could be so dry. But I'm sure that there are appropriate ways to drink it that I'm just not privy to. But yeah, so anything that you do in your life, anything like you create a plan, you set up like, you know, an idea, right? So you go into ritual and you do the chants and stuff like that, and then you leave it at that and you don't do anything after the ritual. You know, nothing's going to happen. You start journaling your life and talking about the things that, you know, you want to change, the things that are bothering you in your life, but you don't put any action behind the journaling that you're doing. Nothing's going to happen. You plan something without building anything around it. Let's say you have a business idea and you put together a business, but like the idea, like the plan of it, but then you don't actually put the steps into action, right? Is it fear of failure? Is it imposter syndrome? Right? You're just wasting your time, right? So here, what we're going to get into now we're going to expand on these points that we just kind of opened up with. Okay? So brutal honesty without guilt. This is an important part. Okay? You need to be honest with yourself without feeling guilty. This is a big thing, and I think this is the problem that a lot of people run into when it comes to affecting change in their lives. Is you begin to kind of open up your eyes and you begin to kind of look at the things that are like wrong in your life and the things that you want to change, right? You kind of say like, okay, maybe, you know, this and maybe that. But when you start holding yourself accountable to your own actions, to the same standards that you would hold other people, what begins to happen is you begin to experience shame. You begin to experience guilt. This is why most people avoid shadow work, because people don't want to deal with the guilt and they don't want to deal with the shame. And it's important because part of the process of shadow work is to be able to process your own accountability without feeling guilty, but still holding yourself responsible. Understanding this is who I was, this is what I did, this is not who I am, and not what I'm going to do. Understand that holding yourself accountable to your actions of the past allows you to grow further today. That's what it does. So, we need that brutal honesty with ourselves without the guilt. Okay? We don't want the guilt to be a part of it. All right? And with Lucifer, Lucifer doesn't care about your feelings. He cares about your patterns. You can cry in front of Lucifer all you want, but you're not listening to what he's showing you. You're wasting your breath. And you shouldn't cry for yourself. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Because if you hold yourself accountable, there's nothing to feel sorry for, because there's a reason you made the choices you made, right? Like, good or bad, whether you agree with or disagree with your past decisions, your past choices, or the way that you've done things, there's a reason you made those choices. You might not even remember what the fuck those reasons were, but there was definitely a reason why you made those choices to begin with. So don't feel sorry for yourself. You did what you felt like you needed to do when you needed to do it, even if the current you disagrees with that. And that's another thing. To sit there and say, oh, well, I did what I needed to do, and then not apologize to yourself for being an asshole, then you're not fully being accountable, are you? See, there's a balance here. You see, I don't know if you guys are catching the balance that happens here, right? Because you can look at like a past situation. You're like, all right, I don't like the way that I handled that situation. I did what I needed to do, but I was still a dick. And that's not me. There's the key. There's the key. Full accountability is knowing that you were a piece of shit when you were a piece of shit, regardless of the reason you were a piece of shit. That's full accountability. That's what brings about change. That's what kind of metamorphosizes, begins the alchemy to start to happen right internally, right? To kind of push you forward, right? Is to say, yeah, I had my reasons. I barely remember them. Or, you know what? Boom, 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 boom. Those are my reasons. But having reason doesn't mean you were right. That's another thing that people have a hard time grasping, right? Just because I had a reason, just because I had, this thing that at the time justified what I was doing, it justifiability of being a dick is still being a dick. Right? So, point is, full accountability, full personal responsibility is accepting that regardless of your reasons, regardless of how justified you were, it was still wrong. And I'm not sitting here telling you, oh, you need to go make amends to the person you were an asshole to. No. I don't believe that. Because here's the thing, right? This isn't some white light, like, where we're gonna fix you and make you a wonderful, happy fucking person. That's not what this is. What we're talking about here, what we're looking at in this level of accountability is, yeah, if your enemy kicks you, beat him in the fucking head. Metaphorically speaking, not talking physically here. No physical violence. So if your enemy strikes you, you strike them back double, triple, quadruple, whatever you need to do. But you still need to hold yourself accountable that was something that, was out of character. It was necessary, but still wrong. Because we all do wrong. Right? That's personal accountability. Right? So, to that level, right? The left-hand path is not therapy. Okay, can we please move past this idea that the left-hand path is like your personal therapy session? I mean, it can be therapeutic. It can assist with actual therapy. The left-hand path is not therapy. It is self-directed, not trauma-centered. Okay, let me repeat this. It is self-directed, not trauma-centered. The left-hand path is direction. It's not centered around trauma. Lucifer's gnosis is the cold slap that wakes you up, not the hug that tucks you into back into bed. And this is another thing that I'm going to reiterate this point. Your demons don't fucking love you. Belial's not your demon daddy. Okay? Lucifer's not your goth mommy. Get the fuck off it. Right? And if you're going to disagree with me, then you need to re-examine yourself, because the feelings of love from the demons, it's not coming from them. It is a manipulation of the self, because you lack something else in your life. And you need to seek that shit out, because you're not going to get it from a demon or a god. Like, the fun part, like, that was kind of like the whole idea, like, you know, one of the biggest things that I thought was hilarious about Christianity and Catholicism was this idea that God loves you, but he's got a list of 10. Yes, I'm going full George Carlin here. Okay. And if you don't know who that is, look it up, because he executes it significantly better than I do. But yeah, God loves you, but he's got a list of 10 things that he doesn't want you to do. But if you do any of these 10 things, he's got a special place where he's going to send you, full of fire, brimstone, crying, screaming, torture, you know, gnashing of teeth, all that shit for all of eternity, for all time. But he loves you. And it's like, it seems a bit narcissistic, doesn't it? Just a little bit. Maybe a little bit of gaslighting going on there. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure, you know, my Christian haters will inevitably, you know, jump in on, you know, the shorts I'm going to make out of this thing, and tell me how wrong I am and how I need to find God. Oh my God, I haven't responded to it, because I'm not even sure how I'm supposed to respond to it. I have a guy in my comment section on the last Satan and Coffee, or a couple Satan and Coffees ago, that did like a full-on like sermon in the comment section, right? Like, about trying to save me. It's like, I don't know if they picked up on the episode where I said, like, if a Christian comes in like with an intelligent argument, like, I'm not going to just block them or anything like that. The whole problem is you guys keep trying to save me, right? Or like rebuke the devil. Like, I mean, do you have such a Jesus complex that I need to be Satan for you? Am I some type of like demon walking in the flesh? And, you know, I'm your excuse to feel like you've done some godly work? Like, I mean, it's kind of pathetic, I think. I don't know. Maybe not. But yeah. So moving forward, right? Reflection, recognition, realignment. 3 things. I want you to remember this, because we're going to have to end here in a minute. Reflection, recognition, realignment. What are you avoiding? What behaviors are destroying you? And who are you pretending to be? Yeah? What are you avoiding in your life? What are you avoiding facing? What part of your past, what part of who you are you avoidant of? Because we all have it. Even I do. We all have an aspect of ourselves that we're avoidant of that exists. What are you avoiding? What behaviors are destroying you? What behaviors can you, if you follow reflection, recognition, and realignment, reflection part, if inside of reflection, if you're looking at your behaviors, your past behaviors and past situations, if you're not happy with the situation that you're in your life, what parts of your life, what part of those behaviors, repeated behaviors, can you pinpoint that are destroying you? And then what are you pretending to be? What are you trying to be? Right? What are you pretending to be? Because we all wear masks. That's fine. That's normal. It's not, I'm not telling you not to. I do it all the fucking time, right? Like, you know, at work, I act a certain way, right? In front of family, I act a certain way. You know, in front of my friends, you know, it's a little bit more genuine. In front of my, you know, my fiance, it's a little bit more genuine. You know, it's about being who I am. We all wear masks about who we are, right? Because who we are, the greatest philosophical question to ever be asked, right? Who am I? You aren't just one thing. My answer to who am I is I am who I am. That's it. I'm not a good person. I'm not a bad person. I'm not, you know, just an artist. I'm not just a podcast host. I'm not just an occultist. I'm not just a father. You know, I'm not just a partner. I'm not just a friend. Like, I'm all of these things. So I am who I am. Right? So that's just kind of like how that goes. But again, reflection, recognition, and realignment. Reflect on your past. Reflect on situations. Figure out what's going on in your life through reflection. Pinpoint patterns. Then you get to recognition. Recognize those patterns. Recognize that there's a problem in these things. And then realignment. I'm not talking about, you know, destroying who you are and becoming a completely different person, but realign, you know, your behavior and your mentality, your psychological standpoint to the direction that you want to be going in your life. Right? Lucifer doesn't whisper sweet nothings. He shatters illusion so you can forge new truths. You can do this work by yourself, with a therapist, with Lucifer, however you want to go through it. But reflection, recognition, and realignment, those are the most important aspects of things. So that being said, that is actually going to be it for today. Short episode, I'm sorry. There's definitely going to be a part 3. We're going to probably dive into this real heavy on Sunday, on the Sunday edition, because I don't have a time limit. But I need to get to work because, like we talked last week, I still have a 9 to 5. And I still find time to do this, right? So, you know, I thank you all for coming. You guys are fucking amazing. This has been Satan and Coffee. I'm Atius Dade. If you like what you're watching, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please do that. Because I noticed a lot of you guys that are watching this, you're not subscribed. And, you know, if you want to help my goofy ass out, a subscription would be fucking amazing. Right? And then you get to listen to me 3 times a week. Right? So, all of you, have a great day. An amazing, infernal start to your weekend, and I will see you on Sunday, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And as always, hail thy fucking self. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.